So you think about people who go to work every day and pay taxes. And then there are 5 million Americans who get Medicaid who are able-bodied. They sit at home. They don't work. They're not taking care of a sick kid or a sick mom, and they're still on Medicaid. Medicaid is expanding every day. There's a big cost to that. So let's reform Medicaid and save it for those people who need it. Let's make sure that people who are able-bodied go to work every day and don't get things for free.
The bottom line is that we're not taking away anybody's Medicaid. We're definitely not taking away anybody's Medicare. What we're doing is we're going after waste, fraud, and abuse, and there's a heck of a lot of it out there. A lot of budget savings have been found by people really in the House, in the Senate. Not just conservatives, moderates agree that there's a lot of money that can be saved. And the bottom line is that we're, in the end, going to balance this budget, and we've got to balance this budget by getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, and we're going to do it. Okay, and we've also got all this revenue coming in from the 3% growth, which will be an extra $4 trillion in revenue. We've got $2.8 trillion in tariff revenue coming in as well. So the idea that this is fiscally irresponsible is also incorrect.
Okay, 4 million children go hungry to fund tax breaks for billionaires. It's incredible. And we run up the huge, massive debt.
The future of America rests with our children. And yet, in a nation which now has the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, this bill wipes out nutrition assistance for millions of hungry kids in America. We are literally taking food out of the mouths of hungry kids to give tax breaks to Mr. Bezos and Mr. Musk and Mr. Zuckerberg and the other multi-billionaires.
CBO says that the Senate bill increases the deficit by $3.3 trillion from 2025 to 2034, and that is $1 trillion more than the House bill. There were already concerns about the deficit in this bill. Do you disagree with those numbers?
Oh, I 100% disagree with those numbers. You remember that in the House bill, there were a bunch of things that were temporary, were there for the first 4 or 5 years, but then looked like they raised money in the out years. But of course, a big tax hike in the 5th year is going to cause a recession and reduce growth and increase the deficit. The number that I think is the best number to think about when you're looking at that $3.3 trillion is that if we get 3% growth instead of 1.8% growth out of this bill, then that adds $4 trillion to revenue, which means that this thing is a big deficit reducer. This is the biggest spending cut in history, the biggest tax cut in history, and with a little bit of growth, it's going to be incredibly positive for the budget. And finally, don't forget, this isn't the only bite of the apple, that we've got lots of discretionary spending that we're planning to send up to the Senate to rescind. Russ Vogt, the OMB director, suggests that maybe that's going to amount to about $160 billion this year. If you get the $160 billion of rescissions, then multiply that by 10 to think about what the deficit impact is. And so this is a very fiscally responsible bill.